Okay. All right, Ken, we can go ahead and get started.
All right, good morning. Let's call this meeting of the Personnel Committee to order. And the first order of business is for Terry Moore to talk about the May EEO report and recruitment update. So Terry, unmute. There you go.
Hi, good morning. So in the month of May, there were 39 applications that were received through our applicant portal. That's an increase of 25% when you compare it to April, but it's a decrease of 80% compared to May of the previous year. Of those applications, 31 applicants listed the applicant website as their source, and 12 of those also listed employer referrals as a source. So we have 62 open positions at the end of the month of May, and new positions account for 8 of them. However, 26 positions are not advertised on the website currently. 37 are being advertised, and 20 are being classified as essential positions. And that means those positions that we will continue to pursue in a more effective manner, more expeditiously than the others. Those positions that are not being advertised currently are not being advertised simply because we have deferred some of our day program employees to residential programs who are currently filling those positions. And the summary indicating external applicants hired, which were few, internal applicants that were moved, again few, and the actual number of applicants is attached to the report. And I am open to accept any questions you might have about it.
Can you hear me, Terry?
Yes.
All right. Sorry I didn't get in time. I was trying to get in on my government computer and it won't do Zoom. And then when I copied it over to my home computer, I copied over Tuesday's meeting and it wouldn't let me in because it's already Wednesday. So anyway, on this particular page, I had a question because you said you have 62 open positions, 26 were not advertised and 37 are. Is there a duplicate in there because 26 and 37 comes out to 63?
May have miscounted.
It could be a miscount. I'm not sure exactly.
Okay.
I would have to go back and look at it, Greg, but that's a good catch. And it could be that we pulled something that's really not being listed on there that's being accounted for in those. And I think I know which ones those are. They could be our lawn positions that we really pulled back from the portal almost completely. So.
All right.
So we'll double check those numbers before the board meeting.
Absolutely.
My issue is the long-standing problem of finding psychiatrists. I'm sure every possible strategy has been tried. Have there been discussions if it's even allowable to somehow redefine the position so it's not a psychiatrist?
We cannot redefine it because that's exactly the person we are looking for is MD, who is a psychiatrist. We have entertained applicants throughout this process. However, we haven't found a viable candidate for our PAC team. Currently, we do have a locums tenens, which is a temporary psychiatrist, in the position that you're seeing open on the website. And we do have a search firm who is actively searching for a psychiatrist to fill that position.
Is it worth, I don't know, it just seems like these are times of change and sometimes we need entirely new perspectives. Okay, we need a psychiatrist and we're using locum tenens. how long do we keep looking for other than locum tenens? I understand they're more expensive.
I think for the PACT position, we keep looking as long as it takes because the fidelity model is that it needs to be a psychiatrist and not like a psychiatric nurse practitioner. When we did have a psychiatric nurse practitioner in that position, we had to get a variance from the state to allow that. But so for that PACT psychiatrist, we'll continue to look as long as we need to look. We had a recent applicant whose salary request was way out of, it was about $100,000, over $100,000 more than what we would pay. I hear regularly from the recruiter that it's a nationwide search. There is one psychiatrist that he's made me aware of that's moving into the area in July, but has taken a job with the VA. So, I don't know what to tell you other than they're very difficult positions to find. We continue to recruit. We have had success in the past of that particular doctor, but it's not a position that we can make a nurse practitioner, for example.
So apparently there's been an option of getting a variance, and can that last the renewal, or how's that work?
That variance was for that particular, because we couldn't even find a locums willing to do that program. We had to send the Department of Behavioral Health the applicant's resume and qualifications, and that had to go through about 3 different steps of the department for that variance for that position, for that person. Pardon me?
How long does it last?
Well, she's gone, so it was just for that variance was for that person for that position. So right now we have a psychiatrist locums in that function, in that role. So we're good until we find a permanent psychiatrist. But we have a psychiatrist who's through locum tenens serving as that PACT psychiatrist.
Hey,
And
Ms. Jane.
he's not given a termination target. He's there indefinitely.
They do 6-month commitments. So part of the, it's a she. Part of the challenge is for locums is they always have the option to not renew. But right now she's through October, I believe.
Mhm.
Jane, does the psychiatrist have to be local here in Fredericksburg?
No, PACT is a little bit different. They have to be able to come to PACT, yes. So a lot of our psychiatrist positions are able to do telehealth, but for PACT, because of the program, they need to be able to be in person at least some of the time to do
Gotcha.
in-person things because of the nature of the team.
All right.
Shall I turn over leadership to Greg again?
Please, yes.
Would you please take over? I like your growth, Beba. The quarantine beard looks good.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate it. Let's see. So we were just on a page. I was going on to page 2 there. All right.
Correct.
Miss Terry.
So do you want to go on to the second item, the retention report?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to point out a typographical error that I made after reviewing this 5 times, where it says all of the separations were involuntary. That should say voluntary. Okay.
I was wondering about that.
I was confused about that going.
So I'll point that out up front and tell you I botched that.
Obviously time for retirement. Obviously.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you.
Terry, it depends on which way you're looking at it.
Oh,
Because
really?
if you looked at it as staff, it was involuntary to you. You couldn't stop them. They wanted to leave. So it's all perspective.
When I looked back at it for the reasons that they left, I was saying, oh my goodness, how could involuntary be relocation, Terry? What were you thinking? So anyway, we processed only 4 employee separations in the month of May. They were voluntary. 3 of them were full-time and 1 was part-time. 2 of those employees resigned because they were relocating. 1 accepted another job offer, and 1 was a layoff with no plans for recall. 1 additional employee retired in the month of May. Now, obviously, retirements do not count against the turnover calculations. May was an awesome month for retention. It remained at 99.6%. The annual turnover, we probably just want to stand up and cheer about, because right now we're trending 2.82%, better than the same time frame last year.
Gotcha. All right, do we have any questions? Then we will move over to the COVID-19 reorganizational structure.
Jane and I discussed, and I thought that it would be really good information for the Personnel Committee to have a little bit more information on what we've done operationally since COVID-19 called for restructuring. So the report that I included has an attached structure for Rappahannock Area Adult Activity Center. Those 36 of those employees were placed in group homes and intermediate care facilities to offer day program services within the group homes. 2 staff members have been placed in each one of the regular group homes, and 4 staff members each have been placed in each of the 3 intermediate care facilities. Those moves were developed by Lacey Fisher Curtis, who's the coordinator for the day support program. And it allowed our RACSB to retain those 36 employees and not place them into a layoff or furlough situation. And they're still able to support 49 individuals in the group home and 12 individuals in the intermediate care facilities, which is huge. The remaining spreadsheet that's attached shows temporary placements of those employees from day support, some from transportation, Kenmore Club, and Myers Respite Home, into existing position vacancies that are in our ID, DD residential services programs. The temporary assignments enabled us to keep 18 employees continuing to work in alternative support positions. In addition to those reorganization efforts, 5 full-time employees were furloughed and 27 part-time employees were placed in a layoff status. So I'll answer any questions that you have about that, but I thought that would provide you with a lot more information about what we did in our efforts to keep employees working when day support and transportation and Kenmore Club faced some issues, and Myers Respite Home was closed.
Randy, can you go ahead and scroll into the next pages too so they can see the spreadsheets on the screen? There you go.
I had actually looked over this data, and I want to commend the staff that have juggled all of these transfers and move arounds. Because just as we try to fit our individuals that live in the group homes, I'm assuming that there's a certain amount of fitting these individuals into the places where we were putting them as well. So to me, this was like juggling 50 balls at once.
Lacey did a commendable job.
Yeah.
Just a commendable job with these transfers here in particular. And they, for the most part, were individuals they're familiar with on a daily basis. So it was great to be able to have them in the home setting and providing those types of day activities that they have them participate in when they're in the day program.
Yes, I want to, just echo that. Lacey really worked hard at making sure we matched staff who knew individuals well. So it was, and this is but one spreadsheet that's been going on. It's not really applicable to the restructure, but Lacey and Steve and Courtney, they have ongoing spreadsheets on a number of issues right now, not only where staff are, but which individuals can tolerate mask wearing, which individuals can tolerate mask wearing themselves and tolerate staff in masks, as well as spreadsheets on all their cleaning supplies and personal protective equipment. And our group homes and our ICF certainly have been a constant concern in terms of infection and the virus. And we've been really fortunate thus far. So they've done just a great job at trying to keep that happening.
I have a question, just still trying to understand a lot that goes on. I understand the group homes and how they operate. The RAAI facility is a day facility. Do all of the members, or do the majority of the members that are in the group home go over, when we didn't have the COVID, go over there on a regular basis for support during the day?
Yes.
Okay, because I've
Also,
also.
I'm sorry. I would say some went to other programs, other day programs. So some of them may have been working through RGI or other day programs, but the majority go to our day program.
All right. And what is the immediate care facility? What do they?
Intermediate care are more
I'm sorry,
intense.
intermediate.
The intermediate care facilities are located at Wolf Street, Ross Drive, and Lucas Street.
Yes, ma'am.
They are only 4-bed facilities, and they have more intermediate needs for care than those that are residing
At the group
in our
homes.
Yeah, so they have a higher level of care. These are folks that in the past would have been in the training centers and institutions. So they have a much higher level of co-occurring health concerns and other vulnerable issues.
Understood. Understood.
I have a question. Terry, I think it's commendable what you've done to save the jobs for people. But the 5 full-time employees that were furloughed, what positions?
They were primarily day positions. They were day support positions, and they did not feel like they could work in the group home setting. But they were full-time employees, with most of them with considerable length of service with RACSB. And so the decision was made to furlough those individuals until we could call them back.
And a lot, understandably, going to the residential schedule would be a challenge for some folks.
Okay,
and primarily that was the same thing with those part-timers that were laid off, because they were offered the same opportunities to go to the residential programs. But many of them just did not, for various reasons. Childcare, they couldn't work on weekends. They couldn't work on holidays. You had, different reasons. They weren't able to work in a 24/7 residential facility.
Gotcha. All right.
My question has to do with checking my memory. I think in the reports that you've been making for the last couple of months, Jane, a lot of these transfers initially were on the hope that it would get funded, and then I think eventually they all did get funded, right?
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
In that we can bill in the group homes, we can bill day support services in the group homes. We did not know that at first, but we, last couple of weeks, got verification.
there any instances where assignments currently are kind of hanging out with some risk?
About getting paid for the services?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, good. Thank you.
All right. So, is there, looking at the agenda, I don't see any other business.
There is a closed session item, Greg, and I mentioned at the start, we will, I'm going to go ahead, since I have the motion in front of me, read the motion, but I'll need a board member to make that. When we go into closed session, we will stop the live stream, and then we'll resume it after to certify that we only spoke of what was necessary in closed session. So I do need a board member to make this following motion: that we hereby convene Rappahannock Area Community Services Board in a closed meeting pursuant to Virginia Code 2.2-3711A for the protection A15, to discuss medical records excluded from 2.2-3711 pursuant to subdivision of 2.2-3705.5, and A4 for the protection of privacy of individual and personnel matters not related to public business. Somebody make that motion.
I will make
I
the
so
motion.
move.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, we're in closed session. We'll go ahead and stop the stream.
So I'm resuming the recording now, and now I'm also going back live on Facebook. It will take another minute because it starts a new stream, so bear with me. Okay, we are now streaming back live.
Okay, thank you. So on behalf of the chair, I'd like us to announce that we're returning to open meeting for the Personnel Committee. And I'm going to ask each of you for certification that, to the best of your knowledge, we discussed only matters lawfully exempted from statutory open meeting requirements. And we'll start with Linda. Do you so certify?
I certify.
Thank you. Beth?
I so certify.
Thank you. Greg?
I certify everyone.
Thank you. Ken?
Yes, I so certify.
And Karen?
Certify.
And Debbie?
I certify.
Thank you. Greg, it's all yours.
All right, I'd like to open it up to the board, or the committee, excuse me, if there's any other business we'd like to discuss regarding personnel.
Hey, Terry, the rollout of the insurance changes, has that been smooth and well accepted? And
It has been. Very, very little comment from employees. They seem to be accepting of the small amount of increase that was passed on. There weren't too many changes. There were a number of changes between plans. Shout out to our new HR associate, Chandler Pridgeon, who's been with us for the past 6 months. He handled all of it seamlessly, worked with Rhonda's department for payroll purposes to get all the changes in, and it seems like almost everything has just gone seamless through this process.
good.
All right. If there's no other business, before I close, I just wanted to check with Jane. Are we going to roll right into the next committee meeting, or are we going to wait until 12? Or I just wanted
We need to wait till 12. So
I
we'll
just want to
go.
know because I want to eat my virtual salad that I have.
Yes, you can. So we'll, if you want to hang out on the Zoom, I'll probably leave it for a few minutes and then we'll, yeah, we'll call
Start back
back
up.
at 12.
All right, thank you. Well,
But actually, I have to shut down the Zoom meeting so that I
Oh,
can
because-
generate the video that we post on the website. So it will be down momentarily.
that's all good.
Okay.
All right, with no
Hey,
other business,
everybody.
no other business, and I close this meeting adjourned at
Thank you.
11:34.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Jane.
If I sign out, will the next meeting have the same numbers? Okay.